I was standing in the living room, staring out the window, when the phone rang. The number wasn't familiar. I almost didn't answer, but I did. "Hello?" I said, my voice neutral, almost absent. "Hey, it's me," my brother's voice crackled through the line. For a second, I thought it was just another one of his calls about some minor issue. But then there was something in his tone. Something off. "I need to ask you something weird," he said, as if measuring every word before speaking it. "Your wife, is she home right now?" I frowned. "Yes," I answered slowly, my stomach tightening for reasons I couldn't yet explain. "She's in the kitchen." There was a long pause, then his voice dropped to a whisper, almost frantic. "That's impossible, because I'm looking at her and another guy right now. They just boarded my flight to Paris." My body went cold. It felt like I had been plunged into ice water. But I didn't react. Not yet. The line went quiet. My mind raced, trying to process the words, the implications. Just then, I heard footsteps behind me. They were light, deliberate. The kind of steps that echo in the stillness, with the weight of something unspoken. I turned, almost involuntarily. She was standing there, my wife. Her face was unreadable, her eyes flickering with something I couldn't place. "Who was that?" she asked softly, as if the question was nothing more than routine. I looked at her, and for the first time in years, I couldn't hear the familiar hum of her presence. I didn't answer. I didn't call my brother back right away. I didn't know how. I needed space, time to think, to untangle the mess that had just been thrown into my lap. But inside, everything was shifting. The image of her, stepping onto the plane with another man, lingered like a cloud in my mind. Her smile, the warmth in her voice, was it all a lie? It wasn't anger yet, just cold curiosity. I started to check her phone when she wasn't around, her emails, her texts. Nothing too direct, just a few casual searches. The investigation was clinical, precise. She wasn't good at hiding things. I found the receipts, the coded messages, the repeated meetings in places I had never been invited. Every detail felt like a needle being pressed deeper. But I stayed calm, detached. I wasn't angry yet. I was just observing. The DNA test results came in. I already knew. I didn't need the confirmation. But I made myself wait, make the moment deliberate. Like this was the last piece of a puzzle I had already solved. I sat at the kitchen table, the paper in front of me, staring at it. The proof. Cold, indisputable. She had betrayed me. Not just with her body, but with her lies, her manipulations. I took a breath. This was it. I walked to the living room where she was reading on the couch. The house was quiet. Too quiet, like it was holding its breath. I didn't speak. I just handed her the paper. She glanced at it, confusion flashing across her face for just a moment before it shifted to something else. Something I couldn't decipher. "What is this?" she asked, a tremor in her voice. "You know exactly what it is." My voice was even, calm. No anger, no desperation. Just clarity. Her eyes flickered. You don't understand." "I understand perfectly." I cut her off, my tone colder now. "I understand that you've been lying to me. For months. Maybe longer." Her lips parted. I watched as the realization hit her. That was the moment. The moment when everything she had carefully constructed began to unravel. She was broken now. But I wasn't interested in her apology or her explanations. "How long?" I asked, my voice still calm, detached. I didn't—" "How long?" I repeated. She faltered. Her face flushed with guilt. It was pathetic. "Since last year," she whispered. "It was just a mistake, but I couldn't stop." I stood up, my chair scraping against the floor. "Don't." She looked up at me, searching for something, for some sign that maybe this could be salvaged. But I didn't feel anything. Not pity, not anger, not love. Just nothing. I walked out without saying another word. I sat in my car, staring at the house. The place where everything had once felt real. Now it was a shell. Empty, hollow. I could hear her voice inside, muffled through the walls. But I didn't care. I didn't feel anything anymore. I had known. I had always known. And now it was done. I had no intention of confronting her again. No need. The truth was out, and she was left with the pieces of her own betrayal. I was already moving on, already cutting ties with the version of myself that had cared. There was no more rage, no more need for revenge, just clarity. It was time to leave her behind, and that was the last thought I had as I drove away. I didn't look back.